Yep. This one? At this time, we'll call the Wednesday, June 9th, 2021 meeting of the Board of Supervisors to order. Larry McDevitt, Rick Steinus, and myself, Jack Willie, and the supervisors. We have Lisa Smith and Bjorn Beck on camera. And Lynn Gopi, our administrative assistant, is finally back. Praise the Lord. And our next item is Dave Dreyer. But before you start, I think that Jackson County did a great job of hosting and welcoming the WMT Tractor Cave. Larry and I both worked at Coonell Implement yesterday and served food to, they were all very generous, very, very friendly. I did go out and see some of the tractors that were there. I love the one that looked like it had an old car on top of it. And there was one that was like a covered wagon and all sorts of different, my God.
All kinds of, I've seen tractors I didn't know were manufactured, but yeah, it was quite an event. I got the opportunity to ride in it, and you know, there's older gentlemen telling stories and younger gentlemen telling stories, and none of it's true, of course, but
They're good stories.
It was fun. It was all good, clean fun, you know, and had several lady drivers too.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
And quite a few couples.
Really good for Jackson County as a whole, you know, and good for Bellevue and the community on that nice crowd. And
They were impressed with Jackson County. They said they had a little rain, but other than that, it had been beautiful.
I got them.
And they really
went to roads.
Yeah,
they did be ready to. Well, I have to talk. We have to talk here. Now that you brought that up.
With that being said, first item on the agenda is David Dreyer, Jackson County Engineer.
We have 3 permits today. The first permit is for Mr. Kevin Giesing at Farmers Creek Township, section 29, 150th Street. He's looking for a Class C field entrance, and we recommend approval of that permit.
Approve.
You get more. I have some right-of-way utility permits from Macocata Valley, 2 permits, one from Macocata Valley Electric, Farmers Creek. They're doing some line relocation and new poles outside the right-of-way. Recommend approval of that one. And then their final permit is for some fiber optic work along 136th Street in Farmers Creek, in Iowa Township, section 775th Street, install fiber optic.
Okay, first we'll deal with Kevin Giesing's entrance permit for a field entrance.
I would second the motion.
No, you will move it. You want a second? Sure. We have a motion and a second to approve the Kevin Giesing permit. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now the 2 from Macocata Valley Electric.
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Other item I have is the Rural County Transportation Program, the RCTP program that is administered by the Regional Planning Authority. It's a program that's budgeted by the county for $70,000. They have, with leftover funds from last year, total funds they had available are $74,482. They're recommending approval for 3 possible applications, one for Bellevue, one for Preston, and one for Miles. The one for Miles, they're recommending that the county engineer review their design and approve the plans, which we're in the process of doing with Miles consultant. But the first project is Bellevue's. They're seeking $25,000 participation in the $57,932 project for resurfacing 2 blocks of Franklin Street. Also doing some catch basin repair and modifications to some sidewalks so that they meet ADA requirements. The other project is Preston. Preston is looking for installing 3 rapid flashing beacons, LED flasher beacons on Highway 64, and one at the high school. Their total project cost is $39,252. They're seeking $25,000. Miles has a project on Adams Street where they're trying to improve some drainage issues they have on that short street that is causing the pavement to fail. So Manats has developed a concept of putting some catch basins in at the low point of that street and draining to the north. So we have some questions on the size of the pipes that they're providing. They're proposing 12-inch pipe and we're thinking that 15 would probably be more appropriate, but it increases their cost by about $6,500. So we have to work through that and see if Miles is, if that's acceptable to Miles to do. Their total cost project as it originally stood was $35,000. They're seeking $25,000, but they would be awarded by the RPA $24,482. So I would recommend approval of Preston and Bellevue. And we'll probably bring Miles back next week. Hopefully we'll have everything worked out for them.
Okay. Does Shonda just look at these, or do you go out and look at it too, Dave?
No, they look at it. They form a committee to take a look at it and review it.
And they score them.
Yeah.
And then they do go and look at
I
it.
remember the system. I just didn't know if you particularly went out and looked at it too.
No, I mean, I was contacted by some folks in Bellevue with their project, so I knew what they were kind of anticipating, but Preston, I didn't know they were looking for flashing beacons on 64, so. But that's a
Abby
good
was on
project.
earlier. She's not on anymore. I don't know if she got any comments or. Just listen to
Abby, do
Abby.
you have anything to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris, that's city
Clerk.
manager.
Bellevue.
Guess not.
Make a motion to approve.
You're making a motion to approve
The two and.
Bellevue and
Bellevue and
Preston.
Preston.
Yes.
I would second that motion.
Is there any further discussion?
There is. As a matter of fact, I have a question, because I know Bellevue had, I forget how this works for scoring. Do they have to wait a year or two after they are awarded like the 25?
Not sure.
I know there, I guess, there must be in compliance with that. but I'm sure
I
some-
don't think they can do it 2 consecutive.
Yeah, I
years in a
think you're
row.
right. I think that's.
I think that seems familiar to me as well.
I'm pretty sure that's the RPA is, they can't apply two consecutive.
I
years.
think you're absolutely right.
Basically let other people get a chance at it.
Yep. Anything else?
Not for that one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
We have the motor grader operator position and we just would seek the board's approval to advertise in the paper to fill it if we don't have an internal.
Make that motion.
Second. Motion and a second to authorize going outside for advertising the motor grader position. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Another thing I forgot to put on for Luann for the next week's agenda is possible, not possible, but parking restrictions along the Caves Road outside the park, the DNR. What would we call him, deputy or officer? Scott Dykstra stopped in. They had a problem with people parking up the entrances to the caves. They couldn't really get emergency vehicles through there and they were having some concerns. So he came in and wanted us to consider adding no parking along segments of that from 98th Street to the park and then from 55th Street to the park. So
Is that just signage or is that yellow curb or something too? or
Just
signage.
Just signage, gravel road. Oh,
I'll tell you, you were in here with him. It was astronomical, the number of
It was
cars
crazy.
that they had out there.
yeah.
Oh, it was in hundreds and hundreds. I'm thinking like 800,
Okay, that's what I was thinking, was 800.
800 and some cars and no place for them to park and they were parking wherever they wanted to. And he says.
Well, I think people a little anxious to get out, you know what? They
Yeah.
just want to be out and
I think that's
especially in the
exactly
fresh
right.
air, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a close location. That is all I have on the agenda.
I see in the claims for a flashing stop sign. Is that for?
That's for Hurstville and Rockdale.
They're proud of them flashing stop signs, ain't they?
Yeah. Nothing is inexpensive. It should be here by the end of the week.
I tell you, there's two in Bellevue there on Second Street where the tracks are, and they are, I mean, you notice them when you were coming.
I was gonna say they gotta be different than the ones that are up here. I mean,
At Summit Street.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And how many accidents already?
Have they?
They could have had an accident with me because I went to pull out and this car didn't stop. Carolyn says, thank God you were watching.
Yeah. No, them ones in Bellevue there, I mean, they don't flash going the other way. That's an particular train, but when you come upon them, you'll notice them. Boy, they really flash out.
I think like you just have to use them when there's a good location for them. If you overuse these types of things, then everything just becomes background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Right.
strike your.
It's just one of the things you never noticed.
those up there are just a little square one down under it, and it just doesn't really jump out at you at all.
Oh,
They've taken them.
They did.
They're not on, like by Western Avenue, those are gone, they've removed them.
They weren't technically legal.
But yeah, no, that's a good plot out there. I just don't understand that out there. It's because the sight distance is good, you know.
And you can see both. I mean, you can see
I
both
don't know if
directions.
people are looking at the pond and seeing if there's.
Could be.
Well, when you turn on
water
that,
over there.
if you look kind of at the pond a little bit and look ahead, and the highway just goes straight ahead,
Yeah,
and you kind of lose that other highway in there.
it's
It's just too close to the other intersection.
sometimes dealing with traffic is an art because we're not, we're human.
I know we had talked about rumble strips there too, but I don't know if there's such a thing even like,
Well, we can always consider them if this doesn't.
they have them portable ones, when they're patching up there on the highway.
The plows would, you'd have to take.
Oh, yeah,
them
well,
out
yeah,
there.
take it out.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, David.
Sure.
I do have a question, I guess. When you travel the roads at 11 miles an hour, you see a lot of things.
Yeah.
And some of them, so that road from Bellevue to Springbrook, that was resurfaced, what, 2 or 3 years ago?
Mhm.
There was a lot of cracks in there. How many times, how often do we have to seal them, or do we have to seal them?
So Bellevue, okay, if I recall, I was talking to Mike about that, that was a resurface over a concrete
Yeah.
road. And
They patched it.
the theory is that those cracks will only penetrate not all the way through. This is one of those perpetual
Huh?
type pavements.
Kind of inner layer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It happens. It was actually 6 inches they put on there.
We could
3
talk-
lifts.
Talk to Mike, I mean, I probably do want to keep on top of the cracks and things.
I mean, when you're going that slow, you can even see like some of these cracks, but there's chips out of it, the inch or so deep, but.
Well, there's several big cracks in Centerville Road as you leave Springville.
Oh, yeah.
Or St. Denis too.
Yeah, that was right away. That's terrible.
Yeah, I thought, Jesus.
That's where they had that real soft spot and that
Yeah.
settled right there. Yeah, that's terrible. That happened the first year.
It's-
Yeah.
So somebody brought up 85th Street. It's a real soft spot in there.
I have not heard anything about it.
Where is 85th?
I'm not sure. The mailman that worked with us. It's his room.
I think it's just Dr. McCullough.
Up by Rockdale? On that curve there or something?
I think it's when you turn off the old highway to go out on the Escape Road before you get to the Animals Silos. I think it's the first road off that.
Yeah, just maybe you can run out there and see what it looks like. Oh, and there's a spot. Oh, what do I want to call that road? By the
Oh, whatever you
airport.
want.
Yeah, down by the airport, when you come out here and head south, there's a big chunk of blacktop out on the highway. But I don't know if it's in Jackson County or Clinton. Okay, I wasn't sure where the
Mike
line
got
was.
that call over the weekend and he went out and
The
looked at
real
it.
school?
I saw that.
And let,
Well,
and let Todd
it's
know.
resurfaced ours part of that.
The DOT's hauling on that road, I think,
Yes,
Oh,
and so they would probably take.
That's
care of it.
Pretty good sized chunk.
it is.
Yeah, I saw a picture that it's,
Yeah.
That's in Clinton, fortunately for us.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Do we have any visitors or citizens that wish to address the board? Are you addressing us, John?
Is there a portion for him today? No.
No. Okay, we'll move on to Lisa
think-
Smith.
I think he wanted to say a few things. Yeah.
You're muted, John.
I couldn't get it to unmute. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to bring you up to date on a couple of things. Last week when I was there, I met with Mallory Smith and mainly just to discuss what this inspection process would be and how we were gonna coordinate that with the state inspectors. And she brought up the fiber optics, which I spoke to.
Okay.
Who did I speak to?
Bjorn.
Bjorn?
Yes, Bjorn. I'm sorry, I could not come up with it. So they talked about possibly getting that in the ditch, and I gave Bjorn the gentleman's name. She did mention don't get too many people involved. They'd already met on it, and the guy I gave you, he's the construction manager on that project, and then would work with Bjorn and yourselves on that. So I just passed that information along. I sent you the geotechnical report, a copy of the geotechnical report. It's calling for a little bit of over excavation, but it's nothing serious, and it appears there might be some foundation out there under the building that we may have to remove, but it didn't appear to be anything substantial at this time. Are there any questions regarding the report? I'm still under review with it and discussing it with Chosen Valley.
That we missed the gas line, is that correct?
Yes, it shows where the gas line is. It's in under the parking, and then it's way at the top of it.
Is that the yellow line?
It says Black Hills Energy if you look really close.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's not what you said.
Okay. I did stop at the hospital, and Lisa and I went over to the hospital. I inspected the equipment that was over there. There's a couple of refrigerators that we could possibly use. And some of the sinks and stuff were really large, and the faucets and stuff were pretty well shot on it. And the maintenance guy said the baskets were pretty well shot. But what we did see over there is the hospital left all their furniture there. And I talked to Brent already on that, and recommended he go over and take a look at that. I mean, the furniture are wooden desks and stuff, and they're in, a lot of them are in really good shape yet. And I think it'd save us a substantial amount of money if we wanted to follow up and get some of the furniture.
Well, we're going to send the chairman of the board, hospital board, and Kurt Coleman, the CEO, a letter asking if we could please go up and take a tour of the facility and see what we would be able to get.
I think that's an excellent idea. I'd be glad to attend with you if you'd like me to.
Well, we'll let you know when we get the appointment made, and if you're available, fine. If you're not, we'll just go and walk through and see what's there.
It sounds great, Jack. I sent a preliminary site plan that Alex had sent me, and don't concentrate on the floor plan itself. The doors are in the right location, but it appeared he didn't pick up the latest floor plan. So I guess my main question is, to keep people moving along and everything, is that You can see that Black Hills gas line that's on the south side and it's under the paving. It's not under the building. So
Yes,
that should be fine. Some of the parking on the east side is encroaching on that steep hill a little bit. So we might have a 2 or 3 foot retaining wall there. And Alex is confirming with Mallory Smith. Right now we're setting 10 foot off the west property line. So he's just double checking to make sure that there's not a additional setback requirement or something in regards to that.
okay.
My main question is we discussed several things and I know Jack had some input. Right now, the main entrance is facing towards the south. Now, the building could move north or south a little bit, but I guess, is this the layout we want at this point in time or?
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely.
Yes.
I meant for this building on the site, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that is fantastic. I just wanted to make sure before if we were gonna flip it or something that I had the right
That
one.
looks good to me.
So John,
Okay,
where would that utility shed go?
okay.
North of it.
And I'll be getting together with you again, probably around the 21st or so, but I did speak to the architect. As I said on the estimate automatically calculated fee structure. So Rick is prepared to offer you a fixed fee. My fee would be, I'm gonna fix my fee at what we had before at the 225, 481. He checked with the structural engineer and his other engineers. And they figured for the hardened structure and actual additional square footage we had of 1785. I mean, it was going to be in the range of 24, but Rick said no. He wasn't going to take anything. So it was 15. And then he was still going to deduct the 4,000 that he had, even under the first bond referendum. So he is at $11,358 increase for the engineers. So he'll fix his fee at $349,600. So just in rough calculating on the estimate I'd given you, that brings us almost exactly to 6.8. So it brought us down about $76,000. So I will get that off to you and then we can sit down and go over that.
Okay.
So I thought that was reasonable. I mean, he's been through 2 bond referendums with you and we've done drawings and stuff. And, you know, he wants you to be happy and so do I. So that's why he did not increase his portion of it. So anyways, that's kind of where we are because that came up in the meeting.
Okay.
I guess, did you have any other questions? I mean, we're moving along on this and Alex is working with us great on this. So
John, where would we put that other building and do we need a driveway there or can it be tied in with something else?
I was gonna work on that, Larry, with you guys once we got the building located on here. My main focus is I want to get you gentlemen going really, you know, I want to get all the engineers and everybody and Alex going on this portion. And then we can go out there and determine or look at a couple of options on where you'd like to place that steel building. I would figure it'd be kind of, you know, I'm not sure what your thought process is, but I mean, we could keep it near the paving or we can put some gravel to it to wherever you determined you'd like to have it at, if that makes sense to you. I mean, does anybody have just a reasonable opinion? I mean, do you want it away from Maple Street or do you want it close to Maple?
Well, I don't think there's room down there. It looks like it has to go
Can't be
to,
by Maple, it'd have to be on Jacobson Drive.
looks like at the end.
Oh,
of the-
I'm sorry. I was, yeah, I meant Jacobson Drive, you
Yeah,
know, closer to Jacobson Drive, or did you want it more towards the east?
well, I think
Not sure.
we don't know yet, but probably closer to Jacobson Drive.
Could have
I was
tried-
thinking the same thing, because then we'd use that paving coming in. Because that paving's gonna have to move to the right there, because there's a telephone pole in the middle of the entrance there. So this was just a rough draft by Alex, and then when we decided, since we're going with this, then we can make changes from there, and then we'll keep you informed, and then we'll get you a couple options of where that building might go.
That'll be great.
Well, if you move the driveway to the north, that eliminates moving the pole and box, and then the building can go just on the north side of the driveway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Larry.
Okay. Or maybe have it in line with the main building going east, and then just add a little driveway up to the front where you pull in.
Yeah.
That way it's not sticking too close to the street.
Back as
Yeah.
far as.
That's the least of our worries.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I want to thank you all for your patience, and I'll continue to keep you informed.
That'll be great.
And then we'll start moving everybody ahead on this for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, at this time, we have Lisa Smith, our county auditor, with her business.
Afternoon. This afternoon, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the June 1st and the June 3rd, 2021 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Motion needed to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants in the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $380,580.18.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, and I note that 100,000 of that is the revolving loan fund amount.
And more gravel.
And we're.
And
more
yeah,
gravel.
and more gravel.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Motion needed to accept, place on file, and authorize the chair signature on the county recorder's report of fees collected for the month of May 2021 in the amount of $56,137.08.
So moved.
I would second, and that's staying pretty steady.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Motion needed to approve and authorize the chair signature on the Information Technology Services Agreement and the licensed code support agreement with Solutions, Inc. for fiscal year 2021/2022 for software and hardware maintenance effective July 1st, 2021 for $37,800.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
motion carried.
Motion needed to approve resolution number 815-06-11-2021, moving $306 in appropriations from the Board of Supervisors to the zoning department for unemployment compensation as filed in resolution book 4, page 357.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Motion needed to approve resolution number 806-06-11-2021, moving $415 in appropriations from the Board of Supervisors to the zoning department for unemployment compensation as filed in resolution book 4, page 358.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
And that's all that I have for the board today.
Going back to that, have we heard anything from the employment judge?
I believe no, because I talked to Sarah, and I don't know if that will come into Sarah or Becky, but Becky is gone for the rest of the week.
Luann?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
All right, calendar for this week. As we talked about at 4:30 PM in Monticello, is signing, the governor will be signing the SF 615 EMS bill. I know some of you wanted to go to that. Tomorrow, Thursday, June 10th at 7 a.m. is a Bellevue Hometown Pride meeting by Zoom for Mike. At 10 a.m. is an Iowa DHS council meeting by Zoom for Jack. And at 4 p.m. is a local emergency planning committee meeting by Zoom for all of you. Friday, June 11th at 9:30 a.m. is a 7th Judicial District Evaluation Committee's meeting in Davenport for Larry. And then the regular meeting will start at 10 o'clock for 7th Judicial. From 10:30 to 3:30, Jack will be attending the State Workforce Development Board Summit by Zoom. Monday, June 14th, from 11 a.m. to 4:30, is the Coconut River Watershed Management Coordinator interviews. And they'll be, I think, at 11 and 1 and 4:30. They're spread throughout the day, and those are for you, Larry. So at 5 o'clock on Monday is the Mississippi Valley Workforce Executive Board meeting by Zoom for Jack. Our next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, June 15th at 9 a.m. That day from 11:30 to 1 is the preteen suicide workshop by Zoom for any of you that would like to attend that. At 6 o'clock is the Conservation Board. They are meeting basically in Sebula. They're starting at the Papke property and then going to South Sebula Lakes, I think.
Okay.
That's for Larry or anyone else who would like to go. Also at 6 o'clock is a webinar, Save Your Town, Create Events People Attend by Zoom for any of you that want to do that. We talked about last big week, I think while I was gone, the revolving loan fund agreement for the Moore Family Creamery. But today I need approval to sign, have the chair sign the transfer agreement for that loan.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
You. Second is the 28E agreement with Delaware County for sharing the assistant to the county engineer. I put the copy in there, but I haven't heard anything back from Delaware County.
No, and David said we would deal with it next week.
Okay, so
Wait a
it's just-
second.
Again,
They mailed me the original copy. I gave it to you.
it wasn't signed by them.
Okay, I received an email with the changes yesterday. Did that not go to everybody? I thought everybody's name was on
I
it.
thought what I got in the mail was an original from Buchanan County.
when did it come?
They passed it because they passed it.
Yes,
Because it would have been yesterday,
Monday.
Monday when they had their meeting.
The changes were on it.
Okay, here,
Yeah.
yes, this is, so we
Yes, we have it.
do have a signed copy from Delaware,
Yeah,
so.
with
They
the
need our
changes.
signature.
Because David said that he hadn't gotten it.
Well, he asked me and I hadn't gotten it in the mail. That's because Lisa
They
handed it
mailed
to
it to
Oh,
me.
me.
okay.
So
Yeah, it come in an email to us too, and Clayton had signed it, and it had the changes in that we discussed about automatic renewal and
Right.
um,
So that's what we wanted.
quarterly.
Yeah. And they also put in that we needed to know for budgeting purposes
Right.
what the salary would be, so
Yeah.
we can make our.
So we can take action on this.
Yes, it's on the agenda.
Okay,
I would move to approve that agreement and have the chair sign.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2080 assistant engineer agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got a
Motion
comment
carried.
yet.
Huh?
I got a comment yet, if I could.
No.
I think that agreement's working really well, by the way. I mean, Alex has been working around here with several different departments and I think he's he told me he was enjoying it and I think he's helping the conservation, everybody.
Yeah, and he's so great. I mean, we have a project we're just looking at. I'll just ask him a few questions and it's not like, and we don't get a great big huge bill for it either. I mean, he's got some really good input.
And even this, when he's doing this kind of stuff.
I mean,
That's huge.
I think it was a good move on him, so.
I think it's wonderful. And he seems very congenial, very easy to talk to. And if you need anything,
And in talking to Buchanan supervisors, they're happy with the situation too. He getting his work done up there and
I think it's
just a comment.
Okay, and the last thing I have for business today is I have 2 fireworks permits to be approved. One is for Shane Davis at 14609 100th Street in Coconut for July the 10th. And the other is for Tom Yearwood at 24103 Highway 64 Coconut for June the 26th.
Motion to approve.
Do they take site distances? I used to be able to look at, I mean, I've seen the aerial photos of them, but like for any livestock that are close or anything like that, does anybody go look for them?
At this point, no,
I don't.
I asked them for the beacon and then we give notice
To the,
in advance so that hopefully the neighbors will know that that's what they're doing.
okay, I would second.
We have a motion in a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
And that's all I had.
Okay. Jim, did you want to say anything?
No, sir, I'm fine.
Okay. This time we'll recess till we're joined by Christina Drown. And we'll reconvene the meeting and we're joined by Christina Drown, our zoning and GIS administrators.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Ready to start with some updates?
Whatever you want to start.
Okay, so that's good. So I guess I'll start with the GIS updates. 911 data was submitted and with the state benchmarks as of by May 25th last month. I haven't received any map or data requests during the month of May. And then just the projects that we talked about going forward from last time was possibly the conservation water trail mapping and the redistricting and census maps that might need to be done.
Okay.
I did send to Lance, sent you guys the information on zoning permits. So what I put together is just the data from this year, so January, February, March, and April, and May. I guess I would just focus on what happened last month in May. There were 13 zoning permits, 3 were primary uses, 7 accessory uses, and then 1 each for building additions, floodplains, special exception, and a variance. I don't think I have the variance on there, so that was a mistake with that. There
We
was
don't
one.
have that one, do we?
Yeah.
It's right here.
Oh, I just got. Hey,
I didn't put the page numbers on
Just
there.
flip it over.
save it. Pick.
All right. So that actually, and then the totals are down at the bottom there and kind of increasing as we go along throughout the year. Total is about 50 for this year then. And then on the next.
This is great. Thank you.
Nice.
How does this compare to recent, you know? Have you looked in the past?
To the past years, I haven't looked at it. I kind of would be, I would have to look through
Yeah,
that
I
data
understand,
and kind of
yeah,
get more of
just
that.
because of the
Yeah,
timeframe, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'd have
And
to
I
kind
don't
of,
know if previous this was kept or not.
yeah, so we can do it moving forward.
That would be great.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions about that?
No.
Okay.
No, I like it. I do too. It's just good information to see how we're.
Good. I started to put it together, you know, for last month and this month, and I thought, well, I should just start kind of tracking for every month and just compare it. And I'd like to make comparisons moving forward for.
I mean, I think it's just good information for your department and the assessor's department.
Oh, no, I agree. This is wonderful.
Good. Then the next page.
I mean, don't get all puffed up or anything.
Okay. The next page is, I just started to put together a map of the new census so you can kind of see where they're all at here. There have been 13 ones that were submitted, 13 nuisance cases that are complaints submitted this year. 2 have been closed and then 11 remain open. 4 are in the process of working towards compliance. They're not quite there yet, but they're working with me. And then the remainder are still need to get going on. So. But yeah, I just wanted to get this in front of you guys too.
Yeah, I seen your email from just
Yeah.
the other day, that one that you sent out. So yeah, that's, looks like something that needs to be addressed also.
Absolutely. Pictures you sent, you just can't imagine.
Well, it's not fair to any other landowners around there. You know,
No, it's not.
and if we're making an attempt to put a little blacktop road in there for them, to have comply with them a little bit, they need to take care of their own business up there also. You know,
Absolutely.
and they're in that, I mean, it's not like it's a city or incorporated, but it's, they have an association that runs the place, so
Yeah.
they need to do their own leaning or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and I actually was talking with recently the Leisure Lake
Association.
Yeah, they have a zoning committee so that they're kind of looking and doing some of their own internal stuff to meet their requirements. And so I just got in contact with them last week to say, you know, let's communicate. I'll send you information on the cases that I have and we can kind of work together. So hopefully that will help, you know, having that relationship.
Well, I think it's a plus that you're working with them. That's a positive for them too. That
Yeah.
I don't know if they can pass anything in their association where they could push the issue a little bit too. I don't know if that's something that they can.
Yeah, I'm not sure they would, you know, if they have their own regulations privately, they can pursue those. Yeah.
I wonder if we could maybe talk to them about adding some language in there about the transfer of property. The process of doing that. Because sometimes it's just like, oh, you want a piece of church, and they just pull one of these numbers and it doesn't go through the right things. And then later
Yeah.
on, it's a mess.
Yes.
And there's quite a few of those that are a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with the grinding stations, people saying that, no, it's paid for, you don't have to worry about it, you know.
Yep.
Well, they should have to disclose that though. I mean, that should show up. You know, if there's unpaid, it should show up in the title search.
Well, what happens when the form that I saw that the realtors use, it says, are there any structures on the building? And if you check no, it says, okay, sign. On the second page, it asks if there's a sewer system or anything like that. But if you don't have a building or a trailer on it, then you don't have to go to the second page. And that's how they got around that.
I would not, being in the business as long as I have, I would not play that game because somebody's bound to get their toes stepped on there.
Yeah. I mean, it just needs to, just a little more, you know, in the association rules, you know, if they're buying a piece of property, they need to read through what the covenants are.
Well,
They need to do their homework on it too.
They do.
Absolutely.
If there's covenants need to be updated according to what the sewer system, how that works up there, you know, either they're connected or not connected, or what the cost is per month, that should all be in that association rule.
We just maybe check and see what's, or read through it, see what's in there, you know, and then just talk to them about it.
Yeah,
See if we get.
sure. Yeah, I can look at
make
it.
it
Any
cool.
update on your other down there? You said it was still in the process.
Yes, still in the process for,
Couple of them.
yeah, I have, looks like 1, 2, 3, I have 4 down there. Basically 3 are still in the process of getting things.
I mean, we're okay with the way the church looks there now, right? The old church.
I want to get the yard cleaned up, so
Yeah,
there's still some piles in
It
there.
it needs a few things.
Yeah, and I
It looks
also,
much better.
yeah, it does look a lot better. I would like to get plans for the church, because it's still, I mean, it's still slightly open and it is boarded up. I'd like to get some type of deadline as to, you know, will it be torn down or will it be improved?
Well, I know he said that he hasn't made a decision yet, but how long is he gonna drag that out?
How could he possibly repair it?
Well, I don't think
I mean, he'd have to.
I think that's just a tactic to.
Oh, I do too.
I
Yeah.
have repaired buildings like that. It can be done. But at a
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah, but you gotta have a lot of money to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
We did a barn that you could throw a basketball out through the roof,
But we don't,
made it into a home.
we
Yeah,
don't have a
yeah.
time frame.
Yeah.
As far as, like he said, he was. Unless somebody submits another complaint, or is this one not completed yet, so it's still open?
I would say this isn't completed yet.
Yeah,
It's still open. And you know, we're talking about the church with the fire.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that was in 2019. So it's been a couple of years that it's been
Yeah, said
been like, yeah. Mhm.
But didn't he ask for an extension?
Yes.
well, yeah, but but
But I think it still would be appropriate to send him a letter and say,
Yep.
we appreciate the efforts that you've made,
Mhm.
but, you know, we plan to have you continue
Yeah,
to fix the,
what is the plan?
yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and it's just about communicating that, you know, it's just as long as he continues to be in communication with me, and I'm happy to work with him. on that.
Great.
And then the final thing was just reporting about the variance approval from the zoning board of adjustments on May 24th. I just have to report that to you guys in case there's any concerns or anything like that, so.
You're talking about the one in Needle.
The log cabin.
Yep.
And what's the status on the campground?
The campground was approved for 6 campsites. So that has met approval and that is effective immediately. There is a 30-day window where somebody can complain, like if they want to, and we can kind of review that again. But as of now, that's all approved, and it has septic and water approval too.
And
Where is that?
how far
exactly?
south is it?
You turn on to you go south of Bellevue, past the Park State Park.
Sure, sure.
It's just the first road to Springbrook,
Okay,
and the first gravel road to the south. It's right there.
I thought that's where the subdivision was going.
Don't turn on the road.
No,
You continue going south on 52.
no, it's where
It's
that
pretty close.
Where
five
they want
lots.
to annex that.
Well, yeah, well, that's. The part that the city bought is actually south on 52, brother, yeah.
Oh,
That's the
farther
beta- That's the
down.
beta track.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I was thinking of this
It's right across from the Kurth addition.
Springbrook Road.
This little campground is on that first gravel road. There was 10 acres there that was subdivided off. They sold the house and there was a trailer house on it. They removed it. And then they sold the house and.
Okay. Thank you.
So these are just like camping trailers or like mobile homes?
Campsites.
Sites?
Yes, for, just. it's
Open
no
to the
camping.
public.
It's more, yeah, I think it's more for family members that,
Yeah, it's for family and friends.
so you had landowners, surrounding landowners that were at the meeting, at the public meeting, is that correct?
There was one, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for Christina?
Are you here for the rest of the day?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I will.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Again, our door is always open.
All right, thanks.
Okay, boards and commissions. We didn't have much last week.
I was drawing a blank. Well, we had our watershed meeting yesterday before. So. And we're having, on Monday, we're interviewing, I think, 4 different people that we had like 10 or 12 applicants. which
Yeah,
is really
that's
good. So they kind of narrowed it down to there might even be 5. So that'll be interesting to see who we pick for that.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah. That'll help us move forward. And we did have the grant, $100,000 grant, so we have money to fill the position and get a plan going, and hopefully we can get some projects.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time to
Yet
get
I see was hired, there's somebody else hired for, not workforce, but early childhood, maybe, did I see that?
Yeah, she's.
Yes,
she's
huh?
the assistant, yeah.
Yeah, we hired Quinn's replacement.
Well, that
She
was,
has been on our board
oh, okay.
and she also
So it
works.
was a good fit.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll be good. Okay. there is no further business. Motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.